Hey, welcome, guys. This is Father Time.
Hello, Captain. We are ready for pushback.
We did a couple of videos. I'm brand new on this airplane. I've been watching Moosestaffa, Moose like the animal, Staffa, over on Twitch, and he did a bunch of great videos. Been studying him, methodically went through those, went through the operating manual, did an orientation video, told you a little bit about myself, and then a origination pre-flight. The documentation that Leonardo gives you for the Super 8, it's an MD-83 by the way, in American Airlines livery, which is what I flew. The documentation they give you, normal procedures, cold weather, takeoff, landing data, full operating manual, systems manual, operating procedures manual, is absolutely fantastic. So I think I've got us kind of ready to go here. Just got one little problem. The electronic flight bag checklist is incomplete, so I'm going to have to drag a checklist over. Anyway, this is not meant to be instructional. It's supposed to show you what a 21,000 hour retired airline captain as of September can do in a few short days, or not, right? Look at this checklist here. So that's it. It's pretty incomplete. I know Moosestaffa had a full checklist over here. We're going to have to drag one over from the side of the screen here. We'll push back in just a second. Okay, so let's come in here, do the checklist. Look front. Nothing great immersion, guys, out there, guys. But I am experienced pilot. I'll tell you some stories, story time with Father Time, and get us there. We'll see if we can't get ourselves over. You might get a kind of kick out of it watching me flail. All right, so flight recorder and AIDS is tested and checked. I did that. It is aligned on the FMC. FMS cross-check. We check the legs, the route, the distance with each other. Emergency lights armed. You know, emergency lights are armed. Yeah, really good thing to check. Just was a AOEP, whatever this is up here. Check that. Don't know a lot of the acronyms now. Just getting my feet wet. Emergency lights are cabin signs are on. Make sure the seatbelt signs aren't on. Windshield anti-ice switch is on. Windshield anti-ice switch is on. Engine sync selector is off. Stall warnings tested. Air conditioning switch is auto. It's auto. Fire protection SIP. We tested that. TRP we tested. Fuel quantity is we got our fuel altimeters. It's 3007. We've got those set. Fuel shutoff levers are off, and cabin pressure lever is auto. Before start, we'll do a few things. But before push, you should have a before pushback checklist, because what you have to do naturally is come over here and put on your beacon. So that's bitten me a couple of times. And get your aux pumped on, transfer pump on, and then you do the push. So before start, let's just go through these. Parking brakes are set. EFB is flight mode. Let's go over there and do that. Yeah, since it said before start, it probably should say before pushback or start. Flight mode, we'll do that. Yeah, I tried this a little while ago, and it was all messed up. My sim started spinning around, so let's not do that. Pneumatic pressure, PSI. Let's go to the overhead. Just want to make sure we have some PSI up here. When we turn off the cross feeds, we'll get all that going. Anti-collision lights, we turn that on. APU econ switch normal. We're not going to shut any of these off just yet. Throttles are idle. Okay. Throttle's idle. We did the takeoff brief. I think we're about ready to go. Let's get going here. GS exit. Back here. We're at gate 4 going off runway 30, guys. And girls. No, I don't want to start here. Nose right.
Release parking brakes, please.
I got to switch for that.
Commencing push.
It's over here.
All engines clear. Start at will.
All right, start at will. So I'm going to go to the overhead first. I'm going to turn on all the fuel pumps. There's nothing in the center to speak of. Left, right. We had the right one on here just for the engine start. And I'm going to go to system A because I'm flying. B would be if I was flying. Number 2, we got to come back in here. We got to turn the packs off. Yeah, pardon me for being not the smoothest guy in the world with this stuff. Valves are open. Both cross feed valves are open. And I'm going to start it up. And we're going to press and hold this till 40 seconds. You press and hold using the start wheel, the mouse wheel. All right, so we're going to get a minimum of 20%, but max motoring. It usually gets up around 24 with a good APU. These oil quantities, just a point of reference as we're pushing back, 12 is your minimum. We got 16, and the hydraulic is 5. We got 15, so it's kind of a lot. There it is. We're over 20. Looks kind of like max motoring, right? So we'll get that start switch up. Fuel lever up, rather. Within 20 seconds, we have to get ignition. FO would start the clock. Looking for oil pressure. Otherwise, we'd shut it down. When it's all started, kind of get like a 246. This is up around 20. This is up around 400. That's up around 6, and you know that's normal. It's good to check that because sometimes you're going to throttle out of the idle detent or something. And at 40%, you let go of the start switch, which I should have done, right? And we can open up the other one. But before we do that, we can actually go shut this start lever off, the cross feed rather, I'm sorry, not the start lever, and turn the pack on to get cooling air in the back. And
Please set parking brakes.
I'll set the brake.
Waiting your confirmation for a good engine start.
Good duct pressure, and I'll press and hold this until 40% with the mouse wheel. Let me let go of these guys. We typically let these guys go.
Cockpit to ground. We have a good engine start. You can disconnect.
There he goes. 20% minimum. Max motoring. There's 20% minimum. They like us to go max motoring, keeps the engine cool. We'd also be looking for the EGT to be down below 100 if we were on a quick turn. That looks good. So what max motoring to me. It's going to be a flaps 11 takeoff, by the way. I've got that all set up. Yeah, you have to watch the origination pre-flight to see where we're going.
Unlocking gear.
Long Beach to Las Vegas. That's what we're doing. All right, once again, oil, ignition within 20 seconds, oil pressure rise. Oil quantity typically gets gulped down by about a quarter to. 2, see this one, 2, 4, 6, right around there.
Tow truck disconnected. Bypass pin removed.
No engine ice is necessary because we don't have...
Left is clear. Right is clear.
All right, I'll give this guy, when he goes out there, a salute. All right, so after flow, I should have let this go at 40%. Start switch. Turn the ignition off for now. Fuel switches are on. I get the flaps tracking down to 11. And go to the overhead as we can. Let's do this, guys. Let's do it this way. APU master, APU air is off. And master, shut it down. And shut these buses off too. Some guys just leave those on because it doesn't really matter. The aircraft is taking it over. Okay, so these are all set. Let's again turn on the probe heat and go to the checklist. Let's see. After start. Engine ignition is off. Pitot and static heaters on the Captain. We did that. It turns on, the one switch turns them all on. Once again, not instructional, stream of consciousness. 10 degrees Celsius with visible moisture or less. We turn on the engine ice. Ice switches are off. Air conditioning supply auto. Did I put that all the way down here? Let me see. And turn this one down too. They can supply their own packs. And up on the overhead, I can do the other pack switch on. That's good. And all good. After start, door Q light is off. That's up here. Door Q light is off. Just got parking brakes, and ART is an op. Rather travel restricted. I don't think it likes this. I've got to do new. That's a final load sheet. 0 fuel 1057. And I can't check it, but we've said, there it is. We have 1054. 1057 up in here. And on NIT index 1057. 105.7. So they're updated. And we've got acknowledge this. And type of climb. It's 1 of 2. Next page. Takeoff weight CG 16.7 with flaps 11. 16.7. A little more forward. Very sensitive. Flaps 11, then we get green bug there. Maybe a little more. That looks good. All right, back to the checklist. Door Q hydraulic system checked and set. And the hydraulic system, we got the transfer pumps on. And the aux pump is on. After start, taxi checklist, APU air switch is off, it's off. Thrust rating panel is required. Yeah, we've got that all set up for a reduced thrust takeoff. 50 is flex temp, it's set at flex. We've got 301 runway heading, 141 is V1, and 17,000's in the window. And it's going to be radar vectors on departure. Debug flight instruments are good. No unwanted flags down here. Flight controls tested. Big thing in the flight sim, right? Let's do that. Make sure those rudders move. I have a tough time with my rudders. Sometimes they don't move. Full throw, up, down. Usually take it real slow so you don't bang them around. Anyway, it looks like everything's moving. If it moves inside, it's moving outside. Taxi checklist. Aileron rudder trim 00. Zero, zero. Auto brake, auto spoiler as required. You know, I think they don't want you doing the auto spoiler. I'm going to do it now because I forget it, man. Auto spoiler's arm. I think they want you to do that like down near the end of the runway. Auto brakes are arm. I'm going to do a takeoff warning test.
Brake. Brake.
Just the brakes. So that's all good. It's my little technique. I know actually in the Super 80 guys would throw the throttles up real quick as they taxied out. For taxi, stab trim checked. We did that. Takeoff brief is complete. Cabin report is obtained. And okay, let's go. Let's take off. Before we go, I think we should probably take a look at the SID for you to see. And it is the zoom departure. Here it is. You can see 17,000 runway 30. 301 heading to 1500 left turn heading 180. We're just going to go runway heading, and then we'll do radar vectors over towards Cahill. And we have a couple of climb restrictions on the way. Taxi out. Here we are off gate 4. Little left on Lima, all the way out to 30. We'll talk about the takeoff getting going. What this reminds me of, my father time, story time, right? It reminds me of my checkout on the taxi checks right here, by the way. On the Super 80 to begin with, the FAA jumped on my second trip, first leg in the weather. We had all round dials back there. I'll tell you a little bit more of that. It was the first trip I ever had with a Pegasus, which was the FMS. We had one single head. First trip the Check Airman I had ever seen. I had a lot of experience on that stuff with the Airbus and the MD-11. He had only been on the DC-10 and the 7.2, so he was brand new Check Airman. It was interesting. Cabin road report is complete. The takeoff brief is complete. For takeoff, we'll do as we get going. Don't let me forget that. All right, so let's get going. And I just want to take one quick look at the overhead. Parking brake arting up. That's good. All right, and I'm going to turn those lights on here. Parking brake released. Right there. And I should probably put this on something worthwhile. Here we go. Okay, we got all our numbers. Let's go. I'm not sure I'm going to do the whole video all the way to Las Vegas. It might be kind of long as it is. This one's 15 minutes. Maybe I'll do it to level off. There we go. I do notice this thing really wants to fly. It's got to get going and bring it back. So anyway, first trip I went on my IOE as a new captain in 1997 with American. Flew with the Dallas Check Airman, Dallas to Long Beach back to Dallas. Simple thing. He flew out. I did the pilot monitoring duties, and then I want to check my nose wheel steering. I have a separate hostage yoke. Then I flew back. First impression was the yoke was huge, right, coming off the Airbus and the MD-11. And secondly, it's swept-wing aircraft, quiet as could be, very quiet, but you felt like you're at the end of a pin. I never lost that feeling. Oh, my whole 2,000 hours on this thing. Every time you landed, it always felt a little bit squirrely, to be honest. But it was a great airplane, super reliable for American. 350 of American bought, 350 MD-82s, MD-83s. And it was the backbone of the fleet until they went deal with Boeing and started retiring these. But we kept these around for a long, long time after the 7.3s had arrived. Talked to a guy, one of my subscribers, commented on the video. He was a 1985 hire. He was 1987. He retired back in 2009. He had 8,000 hours in this. I have 2,000. And he was saying how great this was, this airplane, this late Leonardo MD-82. It's fantastic. It's definitely a study level aircraft if you want to use that overused term. You can definitely practice. If you were on a Super 80 somewhere in the world, don't even know if we fly them anywhere, this would help you with your recurrent training. That's what I consider study level. The PMDG 777 over on P3D, I used to fly that when I was active because I didn't fly a lot of different airplanes. It messed me up at work. That was another study level airplane. It helped me with my recurrent. That thing I could do engine outs, I could do non-ILSs, unusual attitude stalls, wind shear, everything over there. It's fantastic. Well, this one's like that. TFDI, I'm on the TFDI development team. I'm actually not development team, I'm sorry, quality assurance, big difference. I'm a flight tester for them. I've been doing it for a few months. I have a couple thousand hours on the MD-11 also, as well as the 7.6, 7.3, A300-600, and 777, 75, 76 I mentioned. And I'm on the PMDG 777 quality assurance team, but they haven't used me yet. Hopefully. Right now it's January 16, 2024. Maybe they're not going to use me. But anyway, great group of people on both organizations. In the case of TFDI, what an unprecedented exposure they have with 1,000 collector's edition people coming on and contributing, reporting bugs and test flying it, and it's coming along good. They actually stopped the project, went back and redid all the flight parameters, put in a whole new software. They weren't satisfied. That's really bound and determined to give it the first really heavy study level, high fidelity aircraft on Microsoft long range aircraft on Microsoft Flight Simulator. Anyway, but so I get in the airplane on my IOE, Check Airman. FAA jumps on board. First leg out of LaGuardia, 203/4. That's the min. So we're cleared in position and hold. We'll just throw these lights on. Tell you my boring story. And I'm going to ding the flight attendants. I'll do that in a minute. Flight attendants, prepare for takeoff, please. And we've never seen what is called the Pegasus. It's like the Honeywell, single head, just one thing. We have the checklist out. It was implemented to a round dial fleet, right? It was implemented via pink bulletin. They didn't even give us a school on it, and no simulator, nothing. Simulators didn't even have them in it. And first time I've seen it, the Check Airman saw it, I'm getting my FAA check. He was not impressed. And in addition, it was 203/4 right at mins, rotated, went into the weather, and I lost my PFD. So I told the Check Airman, your aircraft, he takes the aircraft, and the FAA saying, no, I need to see you fly. Just fly across cockpit. I say, no, we're not doing that. And the Check Airman said, no, this is not an academic situation, sir. We're switching control here. Let's talk a little bit about the takeoff. Anyway, they passed me. I'm going to get this to go to takeoff here. I'm just going to click this up and get that ready. Here's my plan. See how it goes. I'm going to bring the throttles up to about 1.4, release the parking brakes, bring the throttles up to about 1.4, arm the auto throttles, and it should go to toga power. At 60 knots, we'll get clamp. 80 knots, we'll do an acceleration check. V1, rotate about 8 to 10 degrees. Once we're airborne, we'll get up probably closer to 20, right into the command bars. I'll go runway heading, is what we're going to do on departure. And get radar vectors on out. At 400 feet, we can do our vertical mode. We can either go heading select or nav. At our thrust reduction, we'll go climb power over here on the thrust rating panel at 1,000 feet. And at 1,500 feet, we can start cleaning up. We could do it, and we could go half rate and bring the vertical speed, half rate. Or we can go indicated airspeed, or you could even go vertical VNAV. I'll probably go indicated airspeed and walk that up. We'll see. I'll hand fly it as long as I feel like I'm in control here. You know what I never did? I don't think I ever really set the transponder. Let me do that and bring this over here. Got to get in the right habits, right? Let me do this and this. We'll go 3, 2, 4, 5. Make that up, right? We'll go over to TARA. Lights are on. All right, let's get before takeoff checklist. Entry point, we're on the runway. Fuel balance is checked. Brake temps are checked. Engine ignition to both, and EOAP check. Engine ignition to both, EOAP check. So let's go back to the overhead. Engine ignition to both. I gotta click this on. Both EOAP is checked, ART's and op. We know that. Everything else looks good. No unwanted lights, no nothing. Flight attendants are forewarned. Parking brakes released. 1.4 on the EPR. Engines on. See how quiet it is. It actually was a very quiet airplane because it was engines were so far back.
Brake.
There you go. That works. And auto throttle's on. And we got toga power. Looking for 1.89
Takeoff
in the window.
thrust set.
Thank you, sir. Keep it on that center line. 60 knots, we'll look for clamp.
Clamp.
It's clamp, that's good.
80 knots, cross check.
Yeah, cross check the cockpit. Acceleration check. Oh, I forgot to set these bugs, didn't I? There we go. Magic. V1. Rotate. Yeah, my packs just shut off. Don't know why.
Positive rate.
Sounded like an engine failure, didn't it? But it's not. So that's going to be a problem. All right, we're just going to go ahead and select.
Lights out.
And there we go. Bring the power back. Climb power. Lower the nose.
Climb thrust set.
And I think we just lost our packs. So let me turn the autopilot on, guys. All right, and we can bring the flaps up. That's our flaps bug. There's our slats bug. So not pretty. This thing, I think.
Flap 0.
Yeah, I think it turned the packs off on me. Let me look up here. And that's our slats retract there. We'll go right up to 31,000. I'm not happy with that. So here we can go indicated airspeed and walk this up. 250. Yeah, did you guys, if you have in the comments, that's last takeoff. This is my second takeoff. Last takeoff I did, same thing. The packs went off. So I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong there. So here we are. Indicated airspeed. Come on. Sorry to have to watch me flail like this. All right, there's our slats retract speed.
Slats retracted.
Thank you. Make our radio call. Wish this wheel was a little faster. Well, let me go to the overhead, make sure we're pressurizing. I think I hear it pressurizing now. Woo! Yeah, that happened to me last time too. The packs went off on takeoff. So when any of you guys that know what's going on with that, let me know. So let's do our after takeoff checklist. Kind of wanted to hand fly it a little more. Brake temps check, landing gear, auto brakes off, speed brake flaps off. Okay, ignition. Okay, let's go here, here, and we can go to off. We're cleaned up, so we can actually go over here.
Stabilizer motion.
We can go to low on the hydraulic pumps. Transfer pumps off, aux pumps off. Spoiler lever down. And auto brakes are disarmed. We can move the switch up to off. And let's see how the checklist is going. All right. We've got brake temps are checked. You guys see that? Brake temps checked. Landing gears up and out. Auto brakes are off. Speed brake levers retracted. Flap sets up. Engine ignition is off. Center tank pumps as required. Altimeters. We'll see that. And waiting for 10,000 feet. And at 10,000 feet, the prevailing wisdom is that you can start going. So let's go down here. Go to the box. And we're going to go direct to Cahill. Direct. Execute. Come to the box. And nav it. See if it works. There it goes. Going direct Cahill. Didn't challenge myself too much, did I? No sir, Bob. All right, we're above the clean speed, so we can go above past 15 degrees of bank. All right, there's 10,000 feet. Attendants, desterilize them. Come back in here. Get the lights off. And then lights are all good here. All right. I think that completes the checklist. Have takeoff checklist complete, and that's it. All right, so we're up above 10, so I'm going to go. We could either walk it up with indicated airspeed, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go. There's the EPR limit, and I'm going to go VNAV and turn the ART switch back on, and go to the overhead. No lights. Bugs up, and we're good. All right, so that's the after takeoff climb check, and we'll stop this one here, and we'll do another one starting from there for the rest of the flight over to Las Vegas. Okay, so I'm going to stop this one. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. That was the pushback, start, takeoff, initial climb. Wasn't pretty, but I think we got it done. I'm not displeased. Let's go here. I'm gonna get rid of this yoke here for you. Let's go into Cahill. Yeah, let's let it just fly the whole nav. I can use the time to get set up. All right, pilot time's out. See you on number 4.